to today's tea. So, first of all, let us talk about the cancelled pink lady, okay? As they like to say, oh, she's cancelled. So, she is making people really mad on the internet because not only is she proving that she has impact, she's also breaking records even this year without releasing anything new. To the point that even actual chat pages feel some type of way about reposting. When I tell you they took ages to even post this update. But anyway, they finally did, and this is what Chat Data finally posted. Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj's Beauty and a Beat rises to number one on the global Spotify chart for the first time ever with 7.2 million streams, nearly 14 years after release. And then, as if that's not enough, she's even breaking records. So they also posted Nicki Minaj becomes the first female rapper to reach number one on the global Spotify chart this year with Beauty and a Beat. And to that, we say congratulations to Nicki Minaj and, of course, the Babs. Now, listen, I think for the first time, I do understand the frustration of, the Nicki Minaj haters and, of course, all her ops. Because I'm just imagining someone spending a lot of money incentivizing blogs to spread narratives about this woman to make sure that she's cancelled, to basically downplay her impact and her influence, okay? And basically waiting upon her album release date to make sure that you sabotage it. Meanwhile, she doesn't even put out any new music, but is able to break records like this. I mean, I understand their frustrations and I understand why they, start to be like they're obsessed with her because I would be obsessed too. Because at this point, you can also not deny that there's some supernatural protection around her. She didn't do anything. There's no chess move that she did. She was just sitting pretty, being herself. Meanwhile, the universe has been working on her favor. I mean, congratulations to Nicki Minaj, really, truly. And may God continue humbling people and showing them that after all, nobody is, at the same level as Him. You may try and name yourself after God and all of these things, but after all has been said and done, He will forever be above you. And He strategically does things in a way that would just prove that to you. Because really, truly, what are the odds that in a year where we have been actively seeing them trying to erase her impact, her efforts, her hard work, God just reminds you that she doesn't even have to do anything anyway. There's something else actually that she did back then that I can just make sure that, does the things. Because imagine, that's not the only song that Justin Bieber has. He has other songs, but particularly that song is the one that is breaking all these records, the song that Nicki Minaj has. It's almost like a reminder of the impact, that she has. So I am happy to see her winning. And once again, congratulations. Because for me, whenever people feel like they're untouchable and powerful, I always enjoy people being proven wrong because no one is above, God. Nobody made you custodian of other human beings to the point where you feel like you're untouchable and you can just continue lying and, ruining people and thinking that, there are no consequences to that. So that's why I kind of, am very invested in this. It's the concept of it of, someone thinking that they are above the program, someone thinking that they can just manipulate the whole world. For me, that concept doesn't sit right with me. And this is why stuff like this, I really truly celebrate the way that I do. But anyway, that being said, let us move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, mainly. Now, at this point, I truly don't know why she's even going to this podcast and entertaining these questions because not only is she embarrassing herself, she's also very self contradictory because she was asked about her attending Advocate BBL's tour and, being in the same section and stuff like that. And she essentially insinuated that Nikki is not putting money in her pockets. And at the same time, she said that she would never go against family. And this is the same girl that you guys blame Nicki Minaj for not helping. And a lot of you forget that Nikki actually told this girl to go to school and that she would fully fund, her studies and stuff like that. But of course, that's not the route that she wanted to take. So at this point, I don't know what you guys expect her to do. Like, what type of help do you guys think that Nikki should be giving Ming at this point? And for someone to do something like this, I mean, going to a concert of someone who had a lot to say about your nephew, in my own opinion, I just like this is absolutely insane. But then again, I do know that people say that, oh, she's just young, she's still figuring out life and stuff like that. And that's why she's moving the way that she's moving. But personally, at what point does one start being held accountable? Like, at what point, at what age, really? Because this is ridiculous. I don't think that I would even do something remotely close to this when I was in high school. I wouldn't have done anything like this because where's the loyalty? But anyway, let me insert what she had to say and then I'll catch you guys after that.
I went to a whole concert just now.
I was about to ask you. You
Yeah.
went to the Cardi B
I
concert.
was shady for that, wasn't I? No, I mean, look,
No, I wasn't trying to be.
okay.
I really
So you weren't
wasn't.
trying to be.
I
Did
wasn't
you?
trying to be shady. I felt like, at the time I was hanging out with my friends and my peoples, and they wanted to go out, and I want to go out too. And if I'm not staying in the house by myself, so it was
Yeah.
like, if I go outside, drink, have fun, or stay in the house, be bored, watch TV, I ain't doing that shit. So I was like, it's like for the one time, for the one time. And everyone that was hitting on me or was loving me after that, they were still on my Instagram page,
Yeah.
still on my TikTok, still following me around. So I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what I do, it's gonna either be a blessing and a curse when it comes to my sister.
But you don't feel like you have to pick a side. Like,
I don't feel
you
like I gotta pick
going.
a side. I feel like, if y'all not putting money in my pockets, y'all not, and then there's no side to pick. Or
Yeah.
if I feel like y'all not even my family, or y'all not in our family circle to tell me anything, you can't really let me know about what I should and should not feel.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm still young, so it's like, we're all gonna have a liking to some artists. We're all gonna have a liking to some, some people, some songs.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. There you heard that. Now, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Still talking about loyalty. Let us talk about Quavios and Advocate BBL. Now, the two of them have had quite an up and down relationship, to the point where at some point Quavios was throwing shade at Advocate BBL when he fell out with Offset. But it is also important to note that at the beginning of Advocate BBO's career, in that entire fiasco and disaster that happened with Nicki Minaj, Quavios was a very key player in how everything played out in that scenario. After Nicki Minaj agreeing to work with those boys, the thank you that she got was disloyalty from Quavios and him peddling narratives that were not true. Instead of coming out here and just debunking the rumors and lies that were being spread, he decided to just ditch Nicki Minaj, and he was like, I'm gonna go with whoever the industry is going with. And at that time, I guess it made sense for them because they were a group, okay? And Advocate BBO's success would somehow, in their minds, elevate their standing also as a group, given that Offset was with Advocate BBL. So obviously, people knew that he was such a snake, and the fans kind of just moved on from that. However, to tell you or to show you how much of a clown this man is, when Offset and Advocate BBL were still together, and when the group fell apart, this man is the same man who started going on podcasts, basically saying he picks Nicki Minaj over, Advocate BBL. He started doing that clownery stuff, and he tried to switch back, to praising Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. But the fans were not having it. People were over that clown behavior. I guess that was being done to spite Offset and Cardi B, and they both ignored him at that time. And after that happened, him and Offset never really got back as close as they used to be. Now imagine, to the shock of everyone, now that Offset is no longer with Cardi B, this man is now showing up at Cardi B's concert. Like, how much of a clown do you have to be at this point? Because this is the same woman you were shading when she was still together with Offset. But now, because Offset is not with his wife anymore, she's your sister all of a sudden. Like, you just look at that and you're thinking, oh my God, these are the type of friends that you guys have around you. It's very weird behavior, it's weird energy, and you can tell truly that it's being done to spite. But that being said, it does seem like Advocate BBO also tolerates it, because tell me why allegedly she was out there lending him money. I mean, for what? But then, knowing her, she loves being acknowledged. She loves being petty and acting all innocent, like she's a helpful person. She loves it when people show her appreciation. I guess I feel like she's the type to feel like you can buy respect from people, and that doesn't always turn out right for her in the long run when you actually look at it. But that being said, the incident that I'm talking about, remember how a couple of weeks or months ago there was a video circulating where another person was seemingly claiming that Quavo owed them some money, and then he was lying to them that Advocate BBO owes him some money, and then it later came out that she's the one who actually gave him money. There was some rumor there surrounding that, allegedly, of course. I'm not sure if that's the actual truth. But I mean, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. And I think after attending that show, he decided to tweet and said, oh, sis is doing well, is doing great, and stuff like that, which is just interesting in itself, in my own opinion. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Katy Perry and all these allegations that are coming out. Now, Ruby Rose is coming through and alleging that, Katy, at some point, about 2 decades ago, 18 years ago, or 20 years ago, did some unthinkable things to her. Allegedly, she put her smelly hoo ha in the face of, Ruby. And Ruby allegedly almost puked. I'm just shocked. Truly, I'm truly just shocked with these allegations, and I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I, I, I'm just like, why would you force your hoo ha in someone else's face? Like, what's going on? I wish I would stand here and say that I absolutely don't believe her, because I did see some people debunking that, saying that, oh, well, she's known to lie. The Ruby Rose girl is known to lie, on people so much and stuff like that. And also, Katy Perry's team debunked that and said that that's not true. She's lying and she's known to lie on other celebrities. She's the one who also came out the other time, I think, alleging that Nicki was firing people behind the scenes. Meanwhile, a couple of years before then, she was saying how amazing it was to work with Nicki Minaj and how she would like to work with her again. So it's a very touchy subject, and again, this is a very sensitive situation where, in as much as she might have been self-contradictory, we wouldn't want to victim blame. You get what I'm saying? We wouldn't want to do that, because no one deserves to be treated that way. No one deserves to experience that. And another reason why also I wouldn't say want to come on here and say that, oh, I don't believe her, is because of recent, we all have discovered and seen that weird things do happen behind the scenes in the music industry. And oftentimes, it is all centered around someone trying to prove that they're powerful or they're above others. And there's a lot of, substances that cannot be mentioned also that get involved whenever industry situations are concerned. So at this point, I mean, I'm just shocked. That's the thing. At this point, I'm just like, wow, that is such a shocking revelation. But allegedly, a case has been formally opened. So yeah, we wait to see how that is going to actually play out. Now, do I think that she's ultimately going to win this case? I don't know. I don't think so, because at this point, I think it would be Katy's word against hers. And Katy already has somewhat been cancelled already in the music industry. She's not as big as she used to be. So I don't know if she's gonna face any consequences, to be honest. But let me know in the comment section what you think about that. I don't want to say again, do you believe her or do you not believe her? Because that almost feels like setting her up to not be believed. But that being said, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Jetavia. People are alleging or accusing Jetavia of being shady towards Advocate BBL. Now, you guys know that she recently teased one of her songs on the upcoming album. It's called Numb. I think we spoke about it on this channel, and I basically also said that I love how she's trying to find a sound of her own and how it doesn't look like she's trying to imitate or copy someone. And I also heavily appreciate the fact that she's working within her budget. People were even shaming her for the video budget, saying that, oh, it's low budget, blah, blah, blah. And I say that she's being true to where she is right now in her career, and I feel like that's something that no one should be shamed for that. And most importantly, the fact that she's looking for her own sound and not trying to sound like anyone else is to be commended. Now, it seems like a lot of people do share the same sentiments. There is a lady on Twitter who decided to do a video about that. But whilst expressing this view, she went further to say that a lot of other females try to be other human beings, obviously citing the fact that Advocate Bibel does try to be Nicki Minaj. It may not be in the sound or in the cadence, but definitely the aesthetic, even down to the face and the eyes. In the history and stuff like that. So that lady was basically pointing that out. Clearly, that was some shade towards Advocate BBL. And so Jetavia went underneath that video and commented thank you with some pink love emojis. And of course, people feel like it's very weird for her to comment, because it means that she's agreeing with everything in the video, and that's her being shady towards Advocate BBL. So I will insert what the lady had to say, and let me know in the comment section if you do think that JT, by putting those heart emojis, is her being shady to Advocate BBL, or if you think that, well, she may have agreed with a part of the video. It doesn't necessarily mean that she has to agree with everything for her to thank someone for seeing what she's doing and her efforts. But anyway, after I insert that, I will not be coming back. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you won't be notified. You will be notified, oh my god, each and every time that I post. Thank you so much, and until my next one, see you.
My hair looks a mess, but ignore that. Let me tell you why I fuck with JT, and I really want to see her win. So I heard the snippet of Numb on Twitter, so I got the video from Twitter, then I posted it here. I didn't see that she had posted it. But when you hear her sound, it's like a sound that you've never heard. A lot of these other bitches just sound the same. Like, look at that. I don't even know that little bitch name, but you know who I'm talking about. Who is just, she thinks she's like a fucking, like a copy of Nicki, right? I don't know her fucking name, but you know who I'm talking about. And then the big bitch that her sound is just, they all just try to mimic Nicki. We all know that your fucking inspiration, the person that you grew up listening to, is Nicki. All these bitches grew up listening to Nicki. And there's a way to pay homage. You can pay homage and not fucking just try to just copy and paste. A lot of these bitches, they want to be Nicki or like Barney B fucking delusional ass. They want to surpass her. They want to say, oh, I'm the one who surpassed her, which is never going to happen. But like a person like JT, like she has her own style. I'm obsessed with that fucking outfit from like the first few seconds. That fucking outfit is so fire. Like, and she's looking the fuck good because she's eating, she's bike riding, she's looking like I really fucks with her. Like I really fucks with her, like her style, her lifestyle. Like I really genuinely want to see her win. And I really like her music. Like, she has her own sound. Do you understand that all these other bitches sound alike, or they trying to sound like Nicki? She really has her own sound. Like, I'm obsessed with this snippet. Like, I know I'm gonna be playing that shit, or I'm gonna have that shit on when I'm in the gym. So when I call her the princess of rap, I really mean that shit. Like, she really doing her shit. Like, her fashion shit, her music shit. Like, I really